Castaway 2000 is a unique experiment to discover what happens when a group representing British society today is stranded away from modern life. On the deserted Scottish island of Taransay, they'll have a year to decide how to run the community, devise new ways of living together, and reflect on what aspects of life are really important in the 21st century. 4,000 people applied to take part. Competition for the 36 places is fierce.
Do you want to help or do you not want to help?
Well, I'm surprised I'm still here, really.
Last week, the first 23 were selected for a combination of their compassion, strong leadership,
look at the worm!
and even stronger stomachs. The challenge now is to complete the group with complementary characters and skills. The second selection course has 8 children, aged 3 to 11, and 20 adults. They have just 4 days. Expert advisors which of them are worthy of the last 9 adult places.
I'm currently a lady of leisure, having been made redundant a month ago.
What's your name?
I'm a dinner lady. I've forgotten what the other was. Oh, jeepers.
I come from a little village called Christmas Pie.
34, single.
We're married, dear.
Oh, yes, we're married, yes.
When I've studied indigenous tribes in the past, it's like the Yanomami tribe in the Amazon.
My father was a farmer, and I've never really quite escaped from the shadow of the nobility of manual labour.
I'm also a trampolinist, or I used to be a trampolinist.
Gareth's good at, I was going to say killing things.
You forgot to give your age.
Oh, yes, that's it.
Go on then.
52 in November.
I'll do anything. I'll do absolutely anything I'm asked to do.
The most wonderful thing that I could experience is actually to have a baby over there.
The Lake District is the location where the volunteers must fight to be selected.
Well done, OK. All right, folks.
During grueling practical challenges, SAS survival expert Lofty Wiseman hopes to discover both physical strength and mental stamina.
And there's a big danger. You've got a year to run on the island. If you don't pace yourself or know what's coming or be prepared to sort of slog it out, and I think you might have a problem there, you know.
As they're introduced to some of the tasks they'll have to deal with on the island, psychologist Cynthia McVeigh will be analysing them, even when they think they're not being watched.
How people get on together is really very important. We don't want lots and lots of aggressive personality types. We need some of the quieter, gentler, more caring type of people.
It's the start of the selection course. They've been given limited rations, but haven't been told what to expect or how to organise themselves. They quickly realise that their first task is to grab a tent.
It's a bit smaller than I thought it would be, but it'll do.
All have different reasons for wanting to become castaways and talents they feel they have to offer.
I thought it'd be longer. I don't know if there's going to be room in there for 4 of us.
Every group of people needs an optimist. I'm cheerful in the face of all odds, or at least I have been so far.
Looks like we're left with one of the worst, I think.
We've been together 12 years, haven't we? Patrick's brought 5 children up. I've brought 5 children up, so we're 10 between us. And they're all adult now, we've got grandchildren. And we've done a reasonable job, haven't we, on them? They're all brilliant.
Good job.
They're brilliant kids, they are. And we decided it's about time we did something for us.
I'm personally bankrupted, and I've got another 12, 14 months to go. And no matter what way you turn, you can't have a bank account, you can't earn this much money, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's basically a prison sentence without going to the nick. Bloody heavy. The opportunity of going off on some island somewhere, digging holes and building things and help constructing an environment and a kind of area which I'd like to be part of and create is quite interesting.
The volunteers are divided into 3 teams. Their first competitive challenge is to build a machine to catapult an egg.
This is a Scouse rocket. It's based on a Roman catapult idea.
We knew triangles had to be involved somewhere because it's the strongest way.
It's only been tested once, and the first time it worked. And then the second time we just did it without anything, and it looked like it didn't work.
With limited rations, an added incentive is that they can eat any of the eggs they catch.
Those that can take failure quite well, those that can say, well, I didn't do it very well, but I'm prepared to try again, are people of the type you would actually like to see on the island, because there will be a lot of failure.
Those who are offered the opportunity to go to the island will have to use their ingenuity to cope with the harsh conditions. Winds can gust up to 140 miles an hour, producing wind chill temperatures as low as -15 degrees. Accommodation will be limited. 3 existing buildings are being renovated as shared living spaces, and building work is about to start on 4 sleeping units. These will use the latest in alternative technology and design, but will be basic and shared. To make life slightly more comfortable, the castaways will, however, be allowed to choose one luxury item to take with them.
A dog.
Horse. My guitar.
Guitar.
Harmonica.
Your fishing rod.
An entire rig for distilling whiskey.
I don't really have luxuries.
A Walkman.
My waist belt to carry tools in. My duvet.
Concertina. Maybe the odd rollie.
Or Super Nintendo.
The odd pint.
Pairs of tights.
I just remembered one. Moisturiser.
Before evening, the volunteers face their first survival test, fire making, and there's a variety of approaches.
I think a big fire would be nice because everyone would get together.
It's going to serve about 4 tents.
So it's a neighbourhood fire?
It's a neighbourhood fire.
We want to go for 3 singular fires, you know, so we can just cook it.
I just thought we'd just have one big fire and all share, but I suppose, I don't know, see what happens.
I think it's easier to cook on 3 fires than just to cook on one big fire. Besides, we've got individual rations anyway between the green and the reds and the yellows.
Push came to shove, and you had to decide between whether this was a neighbourhood fire or a yellow team fire. Whose fire would it be?
Depends how many are in the neighbourhood.
Anyone can use it, it's not a problem.
I'm not being selfish, I'm just building a fire that's going to support some people.
Yes.
Hello? Come over here a minute. We've got a problem with the fires, okay? Either we have a joint fire in the middle. If we don't, then we'll have 4 independent fires around the wall. I want you to vote on 1 or 2. All for 1, put their hands up.
Not in the middle.
All for 2.
1 at the edge.
Okay. So now we've got to work out where we're going to put the main fire. I don't suggest we put it in the middle.
Clearly, if you've got 20 adults, it's going to be extremely difficult to get some sort of consensus. What you actually have to do is start organising voting systems and trying to decide whether you're going to go with a majority vote or whether it's got to be unanimous.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Because there's only about 4 people for 2 or 3 fires, see? So the one fire is leading, for starters, so you've got to look around.
Well, I'm not going to ask around asking for a vote again. Who wants one big fire in the middle? Put their hands up.
Not in the middle.
Not in the middle.
Okay. Who wants one big fire at the edge?
At the edge.
Okay. Right, it wins then.
All right.
We've got a debate now as to where it goes. I will suggest, and that's it. I'm not going to kind of say, oh, you know, because this is done before, this is how it's got to be, and I suggest everyone joins me. I'll say, well, the problem of having a fire in the middle is it can't be managed. It's very difficult to keep going. It's very difficult to cook with, very difficult to maintain. 4 separate fires is more difficult to kind of maintain also because you've got 4 of them going, but then they're easy to cook with, easy to maintain, easy to keep going, but then it doesn't make a group bonding. So.
But I was just surprised that none of these points were discussed before that decision was taken.
Well, we failed our first political test then, haven't we?
You haven't often got enough time for 20 people to say individually what each person wants and what each person expects to contribute to whatever the task is. That means that very often people might come to a decision, and when they really think about it afterwards, it's not what they want, and so they just go off and do their own thing.
We might be changing things anyway.
Oh yeah?
The discussion over here is now that it might be a bit difficult for all of us to cook on just the one fire.
Yeah, that's
so just to do a fire for the reds, a fire for the greens, a fire for the yellows, and just get on with it.
It brings up a very good point of the exercise, which is on the island we're going to have lots of disagreements and lots of agreements and lots of debates as to how to get to a common conclusion or result. But I had everything that money could buy. Nice Saab 9000, nice house, nice garden, lovely wife, and ended up in a homeless hospital, divorced, bankrupted, and I was just destroyed. Absolutely well and truly finished. And then I got the new job, doubled my pay overnight, but it's not what I want to do. Now it's time for Robert Hicks to grow up and give stuff back to people rather than just thinking the world's a commercial venture.
Having made a decision of sorts about the fires, they can start cooking once they've caught their food.
This pond is actually absolutely stacked with fish, and they're waiting to leap onto your hooks or nets or whatever, okay? Now my bootlaces, this is nylon cord, at least 1 metre long. Take a large rock, something nice and heavy, tie one end onto the rock, tie it nice and tight so it don't come off. That's going to be thrown in the water, have all your lines coming off, and on the hook a worm. If there's fish in that water, I guarantee on a worm, the ground feeders like eels, they take it. The mid feeders and surface feeders, including aquatic like ducks, swans, anything, they see that hook just underwater, and we can get the seabirds as well.
Is that a no-no?
I think we got the wrong bait.
I could do another couple of them, Mike.
There's no fish in there.
Because I'm starving. I'm really hungry. And it's not very nice to go hungry. I'm beginning to have a headache, actually, that's why. Yeah, I bet we catch something.
After an hour, Lofty's not impressed.
Oh, God.
Keep it as simple as you can, you know. Rock, string, every metre, say 3-4 hooks on each line. And that way, you know, you can manage that. The moment you start going more hooks, they tangle up. And lost a lot of time, you know. As soon as you get them hooks in the water, you stand a chance of getting a fish. When they're out here, you got no chance. You're not going to fly out that water, you know.
My team started doing it, and what they were doing is they were putting the hooks on, then trying to put the twine on the line, and then wondering why everything was getting tangled up and everything was a mess. And I just stood back for a while, had a cigarette, decided that everyone was really stupid, waited for it all to go wrong, and then thought, okay, now let's suggest something that might work. It's like the fire incident down at the bottom there. It's just mad. Too many people want to have the say, and they don't always know what they're doing. So.
Where's you got that half a worm? They're on the top of the boat there.
I'm starting to lose it slightly with my team. I think everyone's had problems in their lives. I mean, one of the common themes from this weekend is that a lot of people have had problems, and it's those problems that make them think, bang, I want to change. It doesn't matter. I'm able to change, and not to take the status quo too seriously. And I mean, personally, I've had problems, losing jobs, redundancy, homelessness, various things at different times which cause problems. But at the moment, my life's quite content. I'm not trying to escape from anything at the moment that's too bad, that's too negative. It's just the general what's going on. I get really frustrated with commercialism and consumerism, which is partly the reason why, part of my motivation for wanting to escape from it. At the end of the day, I think the island's just such an opportunity. It's just such a unique thing. Some people have probably got more experience than others, and I think it just takes a bit of time for that to come through, and for people to realise who has strengths in various areas and who has weaknesses in various areas. And it's also probably a little bit of lack of assertiveness. Nobody's being prepared to just sort of cause a stir, say what they really think, but it'll come.
So you're happy to be the leader for the time being?
As long as I don't have the responsibility.
I think that people sometimes sit back under pressure because they're afraid of failure. Maybe they don't have exactly the type of confidence that's required to have a go. And you might get a bit of sitting back in this group under pressure because they're a wee bit fearful of letting themselves down.
Lofty's also taught them how to make a net. He's not impressed with that either.
I don't know, make a tennis racket with that. It's sort of very short. It's a really short net. See the top string, look? That will hold a Queen Mary. What they should have done, unbraided it all, then they'll have all the stuff then to make a complete net. Even that net in the water stands a chance of catching a fish. A drunken fish or a stupid fish won't come along, you know. So get it in the water, you know.
There we go, that's more like it. So just keep your eye on that little piece of wood. With any luck, it'll start bobbing. Well, with a lot of luck. In fact, with more luck than we're likely to get.
Luck is also running out on the island. Building work on the sleeping accommodation is supposed to have started. With 12 weeks to go before the first castaways arrive, there's no let-up in the bad weather, leaving the builders and their materials marooned across the water on Harris.
I think we're going to have some of the accommodation. My feeling is we're not going to get all of it. We're fortunate to have some existing buildings out there that give us a starting point. Let's see what happens. We're trying to foreshorten every process to get the majority of the accommodation finished. The weather will be the major factor in it. The bottom line though is that we have enough roof cover there for 35 people to bed down sleeping bags if necessary. And then that'll be a good incentive for them to get on with the building, hopefully.
Back in the Lake District, they're getting used to roughing it. Their final test is to choose the materials to build a raft and haul them around an assault course against the clock.
OK, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, OK, to discuss what you need to build a raft.
All the barrels.
All the barrels, OK.
4 paddles.
4 paddles.
Both of the planks.
Both of the planks.
And all of the spars, I suppose.
4 barrels, 2 paddles.
4 bits of wood. You can use that as lashing.
What's the best wood, the planks or the stakes?
Well, we need.
This is their main chance to show our selection team who's really up to being chosen for the last 9 places on the island.
OK, go!
There is one important rule. The bucket must never touch the ground. If it does, the team has to go back to the start of the obstacle. For Julie, the assault course is something of a departure from city life.
So far, I've been playing the London game. I was an estate agent for a while. I taught for 3 years. I worked for the relocation company for a couple of years. Then a cinema for about a year. Then the stockbrokers. And stop the world. I want to get off.
And receive this. Julie, you gotta receive this. You gotta help us across.
Yeah,
so on your back and your arms in the air. Yeah, I mean, it's all the same.
Oh, for heaven's sake! I was surprised actually how little I minded the redundancy thing, because I was worried that instead of being, working for stockbrokers, being a trade desk coordinator, whatever, that actually having to go, well, I'm not working at the moment, would be troublesome, because a lot of people define themselves by their job. I am a this, I am a that. But in fact, it hasn't been too bad.
Well done, Julie. Excellent. Over the top. Is that Max Factory got on there, Julie?
Do, darling, do.
Thank you. Well done.
I want to do something completely different now. I want to get out and be able to feel the wind and all those romantic little ideals.
Despite the mud, Julie and the red team reached the halfway point at a cracking pace.
Excellent.
Clearly Julie, who's normally the glamorous figure, she's actually throwing herself into this wholeheartedly. She's also doing it with great good humour, and that's definitely an asset.
You've had 16 minutes. I can't see much steam yet. We should be steaming by now. OK, keep it going. Well done. Julie, I don't know if things might get her down in the end, but she's handling it at the moment. She's seen it as a big fun and that. I think if she went into assault, it'd be a deep one. But I'm only surmising, but no, what she's done so far, very creditable, I love her accent.
You wait till we drink my lady.
Yeah, she's very willing. She plays up the camera a bit, but I think you need that as well. But deep down, like, she's doing it. Excellent. 3 more barrels.
For Patricia, being selected would mean an opportunity to re-examine her life.
I just always seem to leave a relationship with folk that are dead jealous and possessive. I'm a really, really hard worker, right? And I always put 110% in, but whoever I leave behind always ends up 110% better off.
Just roll down the neck.
The more I give, the more people take, sort of thing. Sort of hoping that by going on the island that it'll boost my confidence. The fact to make me feel useful.
Well done, next one. Come in.
At the finish, the Reds are round in a blistering 23 minutes.
Go!
Next up, the Yellows. Man Mountain, Robert Hicks, nominates himself to carry the bucket single-handed. But is this wise?
Come on, we should be sweating by now. Let's go. Let's move it. Talk to each other. Encouragement. 3 minutes gone.
When can I get off here?
You can come off now. Come on, listen. Keep it going. Let's get the gear down here now. Over to the start of the tyres.
Where do we go now?
Over to the start of the tyres. I'm only saying it once. I'm not saying it again. If you just slow back and think, OK, take a voice, and he's not very fit, and he is a big lad, and I'd hate to feed him, quite honestly. You know what I mean? Be like keeping a horse, but He has got a lot of limitations, you know.
Stay there, I'm going on.
But he has contributed. I can't take that away from him.
Our two experts are forming different views on his abilities.
You've had 6 minutes.
He's a very big man and he has an immense amount of body to carry around the assault course.
Sorry, boots aren't going to grip.
You can see that he's getting tired and you can see he's struggling.
Encourage each other, talk to each other. Come on, make a plan. If you jump in there, you have to go back again. You've got to clear the obstacle. You're wasting time, either go back, get out of the way, or keep it moving, come on. Let's go, jump. Yeah, well done, easy, come on, keep it going.
Well, he might have frozen, he might have hesitated, but he hasn't given up. So he's clearly challenged by some of the things he's having to do. He's actually getting round it.
Okay, keep it going. He burned himself out. He had that big tub of ropes, he had all the logs. That's lovely, well done. And then halfway round he got knackered. He was a liability because he tried to take too much on. Okay, the problem is the bucket. Hang on, you touched, all back. Come on, it's just a floor lock. See? Okay, now listen in. Work as a team. That's the last warning. Let's got to go on the top. Someone's got to get on their back. Big Robert, he's got loads and loads to say, loads and loads of things, but and he does things and he don't really listen and he jumps in again like, you know, he's got a little bit of knowledge and he's trying to impress, you know. I'll go in front. I don't think he's used to this sort of life.
Keep it up.
I think that's his problem. He won't adjust to the circumstances or conditions, you know.
Over there, yeah?
Peter, he jumps in like crash bang bollock. He's not got no tolerance of other people. Now, if he only stood back and thought, what should we do, lads, and thought about it, it'd be a better, he'll have more to offer. He does work, but a lot of work will be, if he's misguided or goes off the wrong tangent, you've got to do it all again. It might be, and everyone tends to follow a dynamic character, and you might go too far before you realise you're going the wrong way, you know?
This is not something I have to do, it's something I want to do. I was homeless over 2 years, from the 16 to 18, and I wasn't a homeless beggar that sat there with a sign saying, help me, give me some money, and then go back to a flat. I was homeless and confused. I was unemployed for 6 years, I was a shoplifter for 8 years. That's not on the ground, it's on the rope. You get your little measuring gauge up. And now I'm only just starting to realise I'm in control of myself and I can make myself much better and I love it.
Did it touch the ground? Okay, back over. Come back, no, back over, no arguing. Yeah, walk round, back over. Come, walk round. It mustn't touch the ground. Yeah, where you go, yeah. Okay, start here again with it. He don't like criticism. When you say, oh, you done that, he'll always argue the toss. No, I never, you know. We put the barrel down in the thing. Oh, I didn't do that, you know. And he's always expected to get away with it, you know, by saying, oh, no, I'm not, you know. So I think he find it difficult. If things went against him, he finds it hard to say, oh, that is wrong. And, you know, so that's one of his failures. But for work rate, he's there, like, you know.
I think Peter maybe has some things he would like to prove to himself. He's hoping to put his family on this island with 3 very young children. It's a big, big undertaking, and I do think you have to question the motivation a little bit.
To the end. You're on the same shot, guys. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Grandmother Gwen is also in trouble. She's terrified of heights, but determined to make it to the island.
I've always had different stages in my life, wife, mother, carer, you know, and sometimes it's the person inside isn't allowed to come out. But, I mean, time of life now is, it's our. We brought up the family and they're well on their way, aren't they? Yeah. They're brilliant children and they're adults and they're getting on with their life, so they're all, it's our time now, isn't it?
Okay, Gwen, strike it off. Let's do something about it. Come on, Gwen, let's go. Yeah, keep it moving. Lend a helping hand. Encourage. Yeah, keep it moving. Darling. There we go.
No, I won't while all this stuff's here. I don't like heights as it is. And
I've got a lot of time for Gwyneth. She doesn't like heights, obviously. I know it wasn't a great height, you know, to us, but to her it was a mountain. No one helped because all those missiles flying past her, so it was undermining her again, like, you know, but she carried on, you know. But she carried on and she said, look, I'll be all right, and she fought that fear and she overcome it, and that's very commendable, I think.
I think that Gwen comes across as a very genuine, nice person. In fact, the type of person that I might go to if I was a bit fed up or I needed a shoulder to cry on. And that kind of person's invaluable on the island. We don't know yet whether she'll be like that at the end of this weekend or whether we'll find this monster growing out of this apparently nice person.
That's it, you can do it. Right, you get over and I'll call it on board.
Will you stay there till I'm off, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, Danny.
Please, with that plank of wood.
Just help her over.
Gwen's husband, Patrick, is also finding it tough.
I think my upbringing was a bit like Castaway 2000. Spent most of my life in a children's home, so basically it wasn't that tough really as you read like it, but it was the 50s. But you were fending for yourself a lot. You had to look after yourself.
Just roll over, just keep rolling.
Honestly, please, you get down, I'll do it.
Just keep rolling.
You just do what you want to do and I'll do it.
Go on, Gwen, you're doing well. That's it. That's it, love. Just keep holding the rope tight. That's it, well done. Well done, Gwen. They're a good partner, him and Gwyneth. They've got a lot of tolerance. 19 minutes gone. Right, come on. They would possibly be the stability, where other people, like the younger ones, maybe, where they're going to go to for advice, So he seemed all right. He sort of didn't, not dynamic, but a good support, and I think something firm to lean on. Be a good crutch in a crisis. Foot on my shoulder.
With a third of the course to go, Rob is on his last legs, as well as Paul's. Like all the recruits, he knows he's now fighting for his place on the island.
Here we go. Keep going. That's it, keep pushing. Okay. 21 minutes. Hold on. There you go. Just going in the chasm. That's clear.
It's a bloody elephant.
Here we go in. Hold on. Well done. Well done, okay. Come on that side, come on the obstacle. You can't do that. Hey, come on the other side. Just through. Come on this side. There's got a soap in there. Have a shower. Well done, over the bank.
The Yellows finish a minute behind the Reds.
23 minutes. Come on, Robert. Well done, son. 23 minutes. On the bank. Okay, well done. 24 minutes. Well done, folks. Well done. Well done. Good performance. Well done.
It's excellent. It's absolutely excellent. I don't know, it's really competitive because the first team has already gone. You don't know what time they've done, but you've got to do it better. So I don't know whether we have, but all the time you're thinking 17 minutes, got to do another, got to move quicker. So it's excellent. It's good fun. I could do that again.
Oh, Jesus. I was fine. I don't like heights. I get claustrophobia. But I couldn't have done it without their help, G, because I'd have still been stuck up there now.
Try and just stand up if you can. Come on, sit on the bow. Okay, you just winded or out of breath?
Just out of breath.
Just stand. One is below your navel. In for 5. Hold it for 5. Force it down. Come on, sit down on that. Sit on that bow, right? And just let the old blood go round. Yeah, you feel all right?
Yeah.
You see me all right?
Yeah.
How many hands up?
Hey?
How many hands have you got up?
12. It was hard. There's no getting away from it. It's the first time I've ever done anything like that in my life. My old chest was tight, I can tell you.
Now it's the turn of the Greens, and one member, Gordon Carey, turns up with a rather unorthodox style of footwear.
You going to be okay like that, Gordon? You sure? Okay. Stand by, go!
You ready, yeah?
Come on. That's in the chasm. The paddle's all right.
Yeah.
Watch out! Oh, my God. Okay, you've got to be careful now. Come on.
He's in the way, I think I can contribute to the project as far as building is concerned, because that's basically, what I'm employed as. And I'm also, because of my farming background, I know quite a bit about planting stuff and producing on my own here. I've even got chickens in my backyard, actually.
Goodness gracious me!
Gordon is actually quite a practical man. He is also quite a patient man.
Give me that one.
He has a name, and that is to take his family back to St Kitts. He sees this opportunity to go to a Scottish island as a great idea because he would be able, he reckons, to get some skills that would be required if he wants to live in a relatively isolated part of St Kitts.
Since I came to this country, I've never really settled here. I've always wanted to go back home. I haven't managed it yet, at least not for good. I've been home several times, but not to stay. But I promised myself the next time I go, it'll be for good.
Gordon's wife, Cassie, has also decided to wear an improvised outfit.
Cassie's clearly trying to get herself round this course in one piece.
Okay, you've had 5 minutes. Keep it going. Time's running out.
I think she's concentrating on that and maybe not so much on helping to carry things. It's quite a challenge, right enough, but she doesn't seem to be particularly active in pulling things across the way some of the others are. She's not going to be fussed, she's not going to be flustered, she's just not going to do what she doesn't want to do. And I can fully see her happily indoors, doing some cooking, doing some baking, and not really that bothered about going outside. I do think that the weather and the cold is something that they really, really will be challenged by. And I don't know whether they fully recognise.
How many poles have we got down there? Oh!
The plastic bags seem to be working for Gordon, but the green team are slipping behind on the clock.
Gordon, look.
Oh, my life.
It's Gordon.
Come on, there's too much hanging about. The clock's ticking. Let's go. 13 minutes.
Gordon strikes me as quite a serious person. I think he takes life and his responsibilities to heart. His religious belief has quite an impact on his life.
Come on!
Come on, Gordon!
They're Seventh-day Adventists, so Saturday is their holy day, which will of course mean that they won't be able, if they go, to actually work on the Saturday, and that itself will produce an interesting dimension because the others might not like that very much.
Okay, no, it's no good. Back. Put it back. Folks, all back. It touched the floor, all back over the other side. Okay, it mustn't touch the floor. All back. Underneath, leave that, just the people. Let's have it under. Gordon, back. I'm going back, I'm hoping to... Gordon, leave it. You've got to listen to the rules.
To me, my beliefs are very important. I can compromise on. But having said that, I mean, I'm sure on the island, if I get there, we're going to have lots of tasks for us to do. I could do my tasks during the week without having to do it on the Saturday, on the Sabbath.
Keep that bucket off the floor. Come on, you're falling behind now. 15 minutes.
Gordon may not realise that working on Sunday will be a problem as well. Churches that dominate life on the neighbouring islands forbid Sunday working.
Mind your makeup, Gordon. Come on.
Just lie in it, it's easier.
No way. Gordon, a strong, hard-working lad, like the sense of humour got him through. And he has got a lot of knowledge, and he's used to roughing it. So I think he knows what to look out for on the island. I don't think he's going in with his eyes shut. The pair of them were so worried about getting their clothes wet, I don't think they had a change of clothing, and they thought, I've got to go home like this, and I think that might have slowed them down a bit.
Just give me anything but your backside.
Come on, folks. Come on, Cass. Come on, we need...
As the green team get to the end of their run, there's a final unwelcome surprise for Gordon and Cassie.
Come on, the time's run out. 24 minutes. Come on, let's go. I don't want you shouting. Let's go.
On your back. Come on. Okay, we've got it. Drag her out.
25 minutes. Come on, let's go. 25 minutes. No, let's go.
Come on, Cass.
Pull you out. Here we go. Come on, let's go. We're going to go. We're running out of time.
Go.
Time is wasting.
Get stuck in there. Here we go. Get your water wings off.
Yeah, there we go. You're going to go back in.
I don't believe it.
On the bank.
You cannot be serious.
On the bank.
No, man.
On the bank.
On the bank. Surely not.
Okay, 26
They think they've finished, but Lofty's spotted that something's been left behind.
Got a problem, Lock. There's still a barrel. So now it's reverse, under the bridge, over the wall.
Oh, no.
It's up to yourselves.
No chance. No. Yes!
While Gordon refuses to go back, Toby comes to the fore.
Come on, Barrel. Go on, Toby! It's up there! It's up to the right! Yes, go over.
It's only a bit rusty.
You can see Toby coming up trumps here because he's trying to cover for team members. And quite nicely, actually, Trevor's now going off with him.
He's okay.
Trevor, Scouser, you know, they're all comedians, and you need a sense of humour. It lightens a load, you know, when everyone's down. Toby, he really tried, and I've got to take me out after that. He done very well. Yeah, well done, man. Well done. Yeah, take it up top there.
I want to go and see how good I am at forming bonds with people, because it's going to be very important to have good relationships with everybody. And I want to put that to the test a lot, develop my personal skills, interpersonal skills. And I believe it certainly will do that. When I come back, I'll be brimming with confidence and a complete social animal. And I think it'll certainly improve me as a person.
Well done, Scout boy. Well done, mate. Well done, man. Excellent. Good teamwork. Well done.
Absolutely fantastic. Completely love getting in the dirt, getting head to toe, mud. Superb.
How did your team done?
I think we did really well, worked together beautifully. Military operation.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm bloody sure, yeah. Thought we did great. I think we're a winning team, definitely.
I was dreading it because I don't like getting myself muddy. But believe it or not, actually, when I started to do it, and even that muddy thing episode under the bridge there, I actually enjoyed it. I think something is wrong with me, I must be sick.
Bit more knackered, actually. Once you think it's over, you think it's over and you spent your energy. There was a bit more, obviously, so good to get it out of the system. Need a beer. Need a beer tonight.
See? I'm still clean, sort of. It stinks. It's horrible, but I enjoy it.
My toes is sticking to my skin.
I need a shower now.
Lofty's shower may be crude, but it's more powerful than anything that'll be on the island. What else will the castaways miss if they're selected?
There isn't anything I would particularly miss.
Where do I start?
I don't think personally I would miss anything materialistically.
Where am I going to get my legs waxed?
Cinema.
CDs. Where's the library?
I miss going to the pub.
Where's the supermarket?
My mates.
Where's the takeaway?
Family.
Salsa dancing.
Football matches.
A soft loo roll.
Hot shower.
Clean clothes.
The bath.
Clean hair.
I love my bath.
You don't want to end up smelling like an old horse.
Civilization.
The odd glass of Italian wine.
Well, Miss Guinness more than anything else.
The keyboard.
My cat.
My mum.
My parents.
Women.
A warm bed.
My juicing machine.
Roast meals.
Fresh fruit and veg.
Cigarettes.
Having hauled the parts to build a raft around the assault course, the teams must now put the pieces together for a race around the lake.
This comes from tying all of my cows and sheep and goat and all back on.
Put the cross brace in to keep it all perpendicular so when it flexes it opposes itself with a sprung tension bar in the middle. One is opposed to the other side, so whatever flexes first takes the power out the other side so it stops it rolling. Keep it tight.
The captain always goes down with his ship.
About to. Shut up, love.
It's not exactly an architectural delight, is it?
Robert's been told, don't move.
Are you ready? Go!
Rafts built, it's time to sink or swim.
If I get on, then I'll give it everything I've got. If I don't get on, then whatever I'm doing, I'll give that everything I've got as well.
The only thing that's keeping me going is knowing that the island's waiting there, you know, for the whole year, and I can just go and give my best.
I used to joke about it, saying that was my main reservation. When the time came, after the 12 months, I could be coming home without a husband because he won't want to come home. I know he won't. The thing is, I might feel exactly the same.
I haven't heard anything at all, or seen anything, or done anything over this weekend that's gone that has made me think, oh, you know, I'm the wrong person for this, or I shouldn't be doing this. In fact, if anything, believe it or not, it's made me more determined to do it.
I
I could argue all the way down the hill and back again for every reason why I should be on that island. What am I going to get out of it?
It will work a treat. It will be such a success. People in the country, on the mainland, are just me gobsmacked. It's going to be absolutely superb.
For the record, the yellow team won, and even the red team got round eventually. But at the end of the day, it wasn't the winning that counted with our experts, but how they took part. Now it's decision time.
The intention here is to get a good cross-section of society, to have the character mix that you would get in society, all the different characteristics you would get in a microcosm of society. And that's why particular people will be chosen. And unfortunately, particular and sometimes very good people with a lot to give will have to be left behind.
2 weeks later, the final selections have been made. With just 17 places available on the island, it's a tense time for the 28 hopefuls.
If I was a 4-year-old, I'd be having a real temper tantrum by now.
I think that's 5 minutes fast, Mum.
It's down to Cynthia to break the good and the bad news.
Might not be them, might be somebody else completely. Scotland number. Hello?
How are you feeling?
I knew you'd do all this. Cynthia, yes or no, please?
How much do you want to go?
I want to go more than I want anything else.
How much is it worth to you to let me tell you right away?
What do you want? What do you want? Anything?
Well, you are going.
Yes!
Oh, this is it.
This is it.
Hello?
Hello, is that Gwyneth?
It is.
How are you feeling?
How do you think?
Well, have you got champagne in the fridge?
Oh, Cynthia.
Is that yes?
Oh.
Do you want to put Patrick on for a minute?
Can I have a word with him? Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, so you know you're going?
Sorry, could you not tell by her face?
I could, yeah. I could tell, yeah. Oh, I love you to bits.
Hello.
Hello, Robert.
Good evening.
Hello, it's Cynthia here.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Yeah, fine.
You're fine?
Yep.
You're okay?
Yep.
I don't want to beat about the bush because I don't think it's fair when you're actually not going.
But I don't want you to think it's a reflection of your performance or anything when you're away. One of the problems we have is that we have a
surfeit of young men, really. And
we're trying to get the balance of the community somehow.
It's just unfortunate, you know, that there were so many young men and
I sussed that the moment I got there.
I know you could see that, and I've had
more applications from people at that level.
Yeah, no. I wish to extend my good wishes and thoughts to all of them, and my thoughts will be with them over the year there. And I'll be as jealous as anything.
Paul has not been selected either, nor has Peter and his family. Patricia's hoping with her.
Oh my God.
Is Patricia there, please?
Just pass the phone over, John. How is it? Just pass the phone over.
Yeah, I'll just get it for you.
Put your nail polish down, just pass it. Hello? Oh no, Cynthia.
Well, that's a really nice story.
If you don't go, would you change your life at all? Would you do anything different?
Yes, I would slit my wrists.
Having that kind of temperament wouldn't do at all. Maybe I should put you out of your misery and tell you that you are going.
You're joking?
No, you're going to the island. You and Jodine and Michael are going.
Oh my God, Cynthia, I don't know what to say.
Mud lovers Gordon and Cassie and their 2 children also get to go.
You're still madly keen to go?
Yeah, madly keen to go, but I think the butterflies are slightly taken over.
Well, I suppose I'd better tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That you are going?
Yeah, that's nice, sweet.
You sound very low-key about it after all these nerves.
Yeah, I am, because I've got Toby next to me. And because we've got together as a team. But once Toby's had a little chat, then if everything goes right, then yeah, there'll be a lot of emotion.
Okay, well, do you want to put Toby on then?
Yeah, I'm just going to move out the way and then Toby can get onto the other end of the film.
Hello.
Hello, Toby. How are you?
I don't like going second, but good, not bad.
Yes, well, maybe
I should put you out of your misery and tell you that you are going.
Oh.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Nice one.
My God. Oh.
I'm just going to hug my sister, okay?
In Ireland, Porrig also gets the green light.
I'm just going to hug my flatmate too. Cynthia, oh God, you don't. I imagine you can probably guess how happy you've made me.
Right, Gran.
Oh, darling boy.
All the castaways have now been chosen.
Castaway 2000. Okay?
Tomorrow night, the two sets of castaways meet for the first time. The first group have already formed close bonds, but it's a real culture shock for the second, especially when an argument erupts over the relationship with the television production team.
Those people who felt that they'd like to meet without Lion.
I've walked out because I'm really angry and upset. The simple fact is I think some people have lost the plot.
Have they lost what initially they set out they wanted to go into this for? Because that's what it sounded like to me.
Brats.
Did you get all your possessions for 1 year in here?
It's been a lousy weekend. I didn't quite enjoy the food.
Oh, God, what are we letting ourselves in for? What am I letting myself in for? It's been one heck of a shock meeting up with the other group.
It's a good eclectic mix of all sorts of folk, healers, bickerers.
I think we're going to get on well. There are a couple of people who probably will rub each other up the wrong way.
And some of the people that are going, I really like. One of them I love. And some of them I don't like.
Ben stood up and let it be known to his group that there was too much bickering going on.
Very quickly, people started to stab people in the back, and I still feel, even now, on Sunday, that I'm pulling knives out of my back.
Ron is talking about not coming to the island. He's called a taxi, he's about to go, and I'm working really hard to try and stop him.
Finished. Absolutely finished. No more on camera, no more nothing. Done. Let's take care. Bye, Gwyneth. Yeah.
With just 7 weeks to go before they're due to leave their old lives behind and start new ones as castaways, tension is already building.
Nice lunch.
Find out tomorrow night whether the carefully chosen community falls apart before it has even begun, as the first castaways head for Taransay to start their year on the island.
I'm very sad that Ron has decided he's not going to go.
I think he did the right thing for him. And I can understand how much he'd had enough. Because I'm pretty close there too.